When you're the reason everybody has to stay home for a full week, it sucks.
And then we're still missing somebody.
But we are back in the studio. We're back in the office, and I'm so happy to be here with my folks and all of you. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers podcast on a Monday, back in the studio, along with Kyle Newbeck. I'm Devon Givens. Bree producing the show, the president of basketball operations. Derek has the day off. All of you in the chat.
Must be nice.
At some point, we'll all be back together, everybody, reunited, and it'll feel so
good. For like 3 days, and then Devon and I are out of here.
And Bree.
Bree.
So we're all going to be off at some point here soon, but good to be back. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers podcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY. We'll have some news and notes later. Of course, I'll surprise everybody with those.
Blanche is already here.
Blanche is here. It's all
Devon's
beautiful.
number one fan.
It's beautiful to have Blanche in here. Love the grandson. You know I do. Love you too, Blanche. But good to see Gene, Marcus, Aaron. What up, Aaron? All of you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry about that, man.
You didn't get me sick, so I'm doing fine. I had some other business to take care of last week. I was busy with some non-PHLY work, so honestly ended up working out okay. I got my work done at home and also got my other work done at home.
It sucks, man, just because I'm like, damn, man.
Being cooped up in the summertime is not the best.
It is, and I love being in the studio, love being with all of you, so good to be back. Good to see everybody in the chat, and let's have at it. It is a Mailbag Monday. We have a lot of questions to get to the news and notes a little bit later. We'll certainly have our things for the rest of the week, but let's start it off, Bree, with question number one on a Mailbag Monday at the end of July. It's already July 28th. I mean,
crazy, man.
The summer is going by so quickly after the draft. And
I was reading recently, Devon, and I knew this was a thing, but I was getting reacquainted with it, that the older you get, because every day is a smaller piece of your life progressively as you go forward, time feels like it moves faster. And then you just think about, man, what about 5 years from now? How short every day is it's just.
So what do you think about that before we get to the first question? Because we say, man, that season went by fast, or man, this week went pretty quickly. The summer's almost over, but it's always the same 24/7. It's always all of that. Your days may be a little bit busier than other days.
It just scrambles your brain a little bit.
Exactly, but people will be like, no, it's the same amount of time. How is it? But you know what we mean. It just went by pretty fast.
You also just, frankly, so if you think about the difference between college you or high school you and then adult you, the amount of responsibilities that continue to add up as you get older, you're just doing more stuff too. So your job or your personal life or whatever just takes up a relatively smaller piece of the pie. So anyway, this is like psychology lesson,
but it's July 28th,
neurology
so we can
lesson
have that conversation.
to open a week.
so yeah,
it's not Air Bud.
It's not Air Bud. It's not Air Bud. We'll get to Air Bud maybe another day where we go back through the whole series as Bree put it up, the whole collection of it all. Let's get to question number one. Mailbag Monday
from Jeff.
Gio. I'm going with Gio on this one.
I do see an F in there.
Yeah, it is Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Gio on this one. Jeff 3010 says, Joel Embiid has played 9 NBA seasons. He has never been healthy at the end of the season, nor in the postseason. Not even once. Zero. Nothing. Nada.
Technically not true because he was healthy in the bubble, but obviously
yes,
that's a pretty big exception to the rule.
How are we supposed to believe he will be this year? What do the Sixers need to do differently to have even a 60% chance of Joel Embiid being healthy for the playoffs? What do you think, Kyle?
So I do also want to bring in, and we discussed this before the show, Devon, Keith Pompey at the Inquirer. This was his opinion from what I could. This was not derived from, hey, Keith talked with Joel about the recent article that he was a part of at ESPN. But Keith came out and gave a quote on Sirius, I believe?
Sirius NBA Radio.
And said something to the effect of, I think Joel might know the end is near. And so there was a lot of debate about that. This is a topic that will not go away, right? Like, what can you expect from Joel Embiid? Why should we believe in this? And I've been pretty transparent on the show. I don't know that you can have much in the way of expectations for Joel. And specifically to Jeff's question, or Gio's question, as Devon said over there.
We're going with Gio.
It's tough because this is a pattern, right? This is every year there's something. And I think what really crystallized for me why I can't go into the season with real expectations for Joel is that the playoffs feel more grueling every single year, right? Whether that's because of style of play, whether it's because of this rash of serious injuries to the stars of the league, right? It feels like every year, and this year it happened to several prominent guys, Dame Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum. These are not end of bench players. These are franchise leading stars, big names, multi-time All-Stars, all NBA type guys going down with the same injury, but they're not the only ones, right? Aaron Gordon can't get through the second round of the playoffs because of his injury, and Michael Porter Jr. is going around with a busted shoulder for that whole series. You go to every single playoff series, guys are dealing with Jalen Williams, won a title, and then right afterward it comes out, hey, my wrist was
like a real one
the whole time
right.
and needed surgery on it.
Yeah.
So the answer I would give to Jeff is that I don't think there's a reason to believe they can get him through completely unscathed, right? Now, that doesn't mean I'm sitting here on, July 28th saying everything's doomed and he's going to suffer a debilitating injury. But I think you have to be realistic and say, if he's never been healthy and it gets more physically taxing to play in the league as the years go by, the amount of ground you have to cover, the pace of play, all of that, you have to come in from a reasonable point of view. So what does that look like? It's fewer minutes for Joel. We've talked about that, Devon, many times, whether it's the usage. But for me, it's just don't play him as much, right? And they have been fairly responsible with him when he has played over the last couple of years. Some of it was, as Doc Rivers used to say, the old school load management where you win in 3 quarters and then you can take the 4th quarter off. Being a good enough team to do that. I think some of it, though, is you just have to trust young guys and other players to win you games, win you minutes, and win you stretches. That does not mean he's got to sit back-to-backs. Does not mean he should be sitting a week or 2 for rest purposes in the middle of the year. But you got to be responsible with this guy, but also balance that against Devon. You need to be in peak shape when the playoffs come, because at that point, if you want to hit the highest high, if you want to get to the finals and win the finals, that's essentially 3 months or 2 months, 2.5 months of nonstop, every other day, best basketball you've ever played in your life, right?
Yes.
How do you get there? What does the plan look like to get there, Devon?
So to your point of the minutes played, on his career average, he's 31.9. So he's 32 on average for his career. Not counting last season, even though he still played in those 19 games, 30 minutes a night. 33.6 the year before, 34.6 the year he won the MVP, 33.8, 31.1. These are all playoff years for Joel Embiid and the Sixers. And the 51 season where it was, shut down because of COVID and all, 51 games, 29 and a half. But before that, again, full season, 33.7, 30.3. And so I ask you to your point, how much more does he drop? Are we talking 27?
That's the thing, right? It's not like you can have him play 25. So his first year in the league where they had no expectations to win, you're treating him like he's bubble boy.
Yep.
He's not playing in back-to-backs. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. You can afford to say, yeah, we're only going to play Joel 25 minutes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
When you have aspirations to go as deep as they want to go, by virtue of having him on the roster, having Paul George on a max deal, Tyrese Maxey on a max deal, you can only scale down so much before it's like he's just not going to be ready to play in the playoffs and extend the minutes, right? Because the jump then goes from if you play 30, you got to be able to give a strong 38, right?
Yep.
35,
and
38,
go all out.
And be high level the whole time. And you're not doing that if you drop his minutes to like 25 a game. It's just too extreme of now maybe the argument would be you start him at 25 and slowly throughout the year. But if we assume he's going to be hurt or even just resting at periods during the year, it's going to be a constant reset, recycle type of process. So I think what fans should expect out of Joel Embiid this year is probably what a lot of people expected last season, right? Would be the high bar where he's not going to play back-to-backs. There may be periods of the season where they just give him off, not because he's hurt, not because he's playing poorly, but to be proactive. And you should expect him to be not MVP Joel Embiid, right? That's a thing that I think he has not let go. I think the organization won't let go until it's abundantly clear he can't get there anymore. But I think from the outside, you have to look at the evidence. We have to look at the evidence and say, until that guy comes back and I can see him play 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month where he's sustaining high-level play, you do have to assume that this is more like, all right, what is the next iteration of Joel Embiid? What is an older, somewhat slower, less physical version of Joel Embiid look like? Because we're so far removed at this point from, I know a year and a half doesn't seem that long. A year and a half in basketball terms is a long time to go without seeing any kind of consistency in terms of the performance and his health. So I think for the best thing for everybody, if you're just trying to avoid the trap of setting high expectations and then you get the rug pulled out from under you, go in with a low baseline. Say it's going to be Tyrese Maxey predominantly as the lead, the face of this team. And there are pitfalls to that for sure. But expect Joel in a lesser role, playing less games than you would have hoped for. And if you get more than that, that's great, right? That's what's going to set the ceiling of this team. That's what's going to ultimately determine, can you be a high-level playoff team? Can you compete to win series and go to the conference finals and go to the final? Like, that's so far off in the distance right now. You just have to hope he can get on the floor consistently, and then what happens from there?
So, first of all, Jeff, we see you in the chat, man. Thank you for the question. Really appreciate it. We thank you for sending it in and answering this question. And by the way, hey, this is not going to be the last time that we predict whether
it's
Joel
the existential
Embiid,
thing hanging over the team always.
Leading into the season, we're going to have a Joel Embiid show of what are we going to see. So, number one, I was thinking about what you were saying about the expectation, of course, of what you get, and then talking about Halliburton, Tatum, Lillard, all suffering those injuries, Gordon, and the same thing with Williams. And Kyle, the thing that I thought about with all of them, including Gordon, even though they were knocked out in the first round, we're talking about long playoff runs year after year for all of those players, including Williams, who they just won the championship. But 2 years in a row for Halliburton getting to the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals, plus a USA appearance where while he didn't play, you're talking about him practicing at a high level against those.
And by the way, Halliburton didn't make it through their previous playoff run unscathed too. He got injured in the conference finals, and that impacted that playoff run as well.
Tatum getting to the conference finals every year and the NBA Finals. Lillard, same thing, getting to the second round at least with the Milwaukee Bucks. So on and on. And Joel getting to the second round every year, plus the USA appearance that everybody was questioning last summer. We talked about it, didn't bother us as much because we saw what we saw on the stage. And if you're going to do it, you got to be ready for the start of the year. Unfortunately, he was not able to be Joel Embiid. So it's a tough thing to answer simply because we haven't seen him for now a year and a half. We have not seen him, and we don't know what that's going to look like. Is he willing to now come in and say, hey, I'm going to go out there. I know I can do these things, but I don't have to do it when I'm averaging 30 or 33. As Kyle talked about, I remember 2 years ago when we first started things here at PHLY, and he and Derek are talking about it while I'm sitting at home watching. And the thing was, can you give me 27 instead of 33, and it's just as effective? Mm-hmm. Can you rebound better? Can you defend better? And do you have it in your mind where we often talk about players getting into the twilight of their careers? I'm not saying he is, but understanding that they are the last ones to realize that I can't do this anymore, but can I still be effective enough in this league where I can understand that I have a Hall of Fame career, I have my money, I have all of these endorsements, and I have everything except for a championship, what am I willing to do to give up all of that for the betterment of my team? So knowing that he looks at Tyrese Maxey the way that he does, he has high praise for these young players that are coming into his team in year 2 or a rookie or year 3, or even Quentin Grimes in his role, and understanding what that player is, and even Paul George for what his role is. Understanding that Joel Embiid, you may not have to be that guy that has to go out there and drop 33 on every night that you are out there on the floor, because you have a talented roster that can make up for that 7 points somewhere across the board that's also going to contribute to your winning.
Plenty of guys who can score.
There are a lot of guys that can score, and you don't have to do that. So that's where, while he may not be in the twilight of his career, and he still believes that he's still in his prime, but he now has to adjust his game, dropping the weight that he talked about last summer, dropping more weight this summer to take some of the pressure off of his knees, take pressure off of his legs. Is he willing to do that? And then understanding when you get in the game, yes, when you get in the game and the mindset is, hey, I know I can get my 33 because I know how to get to my spots. I know this pick and roll with Tyrese Maxey is going to be easy money for me. I know how to get to the free throw line, and this is going to pile up. But maybe it's taken away from the flow of what the offense might be and how productive your teammates might be if you don't do those things, but your average maybe drops 7 points or 9 points, but you're still getting 2 more rebounds. Your legs are fresher. You can defend a little bit more. You can move on the perimeter. You can recover and help your teammate on the back end at the rim. Those are the things, including those passes where the assist numbers goes up. Those are the things that I am very, very interested to see if that's the version of Joel Embiid that we get, while still being that uber productive and uber impactful Embiid in that way, and not the guy that's just going to go out there and drop 35 or 33 every night, where he can still average 33 in 1 month because he's that good. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be.
I sure hope he's
every
that good.
every 55 games that he's out there, that it has to be that type of showing.
I think to your point, Devon, the most important thing, and where I would hold Joel to the highest standard coming into the year, he mentally has to get right. I think that was the thing that was really striking last year. Is like everybody could see the same things on the floor in terms of, hey, he's not moving as well on defense, and he's not doing this, he's not doing that, in terms of the physical component. Like, oh, he doesn't look like himself. I honestly thought it was more striking that he just seemed so unsure of himself, and not being at that MVP level really ate into the mental advantage that he had built up over a lot of these guys, right? Like, I think of some of these matchups where he would walk into a game and you knew from, first couple minutes or so, he saw the guy across from him and was like, this dude has no chance. I'm just going to shoot over him. Mm-hmm. And when I don't shoot over him, I'm going by him. And when I don't go by him, I'm drawing a foul. Like, he had all the different pieces of the game working together, right? So that's what I want to see from Joel, is no hesitation, right? I don't need Joel to score 30. I don't need Joel to hit any kind of statistical threshold. I just don't care about that stuff in general. I want teams that win. I want players that win, and he has driven winning through the production. But if we just go in assuming like Joel is probably a good bit less athletic than he was 5 years ago.
Yes. Yep.
Joel is not going to be at the highest possible level he's hit in his career. That's okay if his game shows an understanding of that, right? If he has an approach that says, I'm going to roll harder to the rim to accommodate a Tyrese Maxey or a VJ Edgecombe or a Jared McCain in pick and rolls. I'm going to save something on offense, and I'll take more pick and pop threes, right? Like, that's something that Nick Nurse talked about openly last year was, I'd like to see Joel get to like 6 to 8 threes a game attempted, right?
And I was like, no, I don't want to see that.
And Devon doesn't want to hear that, and there are a lot of people who don't want to hear that.
And I know you don't mind it. And remember, mine was like,
if he shoots them well, of course he can shoot as many as he wants.
Right, yeah.
But I think it's like, so you think about it less as how do we get Joel to his spots, and more as how does Joel leverage his skill to open things up for everybody else, where you don't care as much about, oh, he's taking up these floor spots and whatnot. And if he does take more pick and pop threes, where it's just that automatic ball in hands immediately goes up, you're not asking him to isolate and create and post guys up and bang down low as much as maybe he used to. And then there's more to give as a rebounder. There's more to give still on the defensive end, where if you just assume he's only got so much in him, this team needs him more, I think, on the defensive end of the floor. We see what the roster is, that we're going to be talking about, how much of a role can Trendon Watford play, Jabari Walker, even Barlow. Like, these guys are probably going to have to play real minutes at some point. When you know that that's a weakness of the team, that's where Joel is going to be head and shoulders above these other guys. Like, you can help solve that problem. Tyrese can score. Jared can score. Paul can score. VJ can score. A lot of guys who can score. Nobody is going to be able to play the anchoring defensive role that he can if he commits most of his energy and his approach to the game on that end. So I hope that Joel looks at it holistically, and it's, hey, maybe I'm only putting up 18 to 20 points tonight, but I'm making a massive difference on the other end still, even with a less pep in his step than he used to have.
And nobody on that team we can say that about. If he's locked in defensively that way, no one on that team can have that impact on that end of the floor like that if he does in fact commit himself to that overall. Just quickly, Ramid in the chat says, can he accept this and come out and play this way? That's what we're going to find out. That's what I want to see. And Hedfa says, as far as numbers go, Hedfa went with 23, 7, and 5, taking 7+ threes a game. Let's go. Stretch 5.
Ain't going to happen, but you can dream. He ain't taking that many threes. I can say whatever I want. I'm not expecting him to do it.
I'll say he'll probably take about 5. I could see that. Anywhere around 5, I think that's it.
If he hits 5, I would be pretty surprised.
Taking
no,
5.
I know. I'm saying if he hits 5.
By taking that 5. Okay, I got you.
Like, hits 5 as a threshold.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, no, if he was making 5.
Oh, well, yeah.
What is he, Dirk Nowitzki?
Heffa says, Brook Lopez. Got to get to the Brook Lopez style at this point of his career. We'll see. We just went about 15 minutes on the Joel Embiid piece of things for our first mailbag question on the Mailbag Monday, but it was important. It was needed to have that part. We come back and we'll get into more of the questions. We'll try to breeze through more. Of course, we'll give them the right amount of time to answer the questions, but we'll go through them a little more quickly here. On a Monday, it's Mailbag Monday with Kyle, Devon, and Bree. Derek's in the chat, so he's here. He's just in the chat right now as he's contributing to the show. We'll come back. We'll talk about more things right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics. All right, folks, the summer is late July, so we're approaching August and getting ready for the start of the school year for a lot of your kids, whether it's college, high school, and even middle school. But you want to make sure that your kids are good when it comes to financial experiences and all. Well, we got the place for you with TrueMark Financial Credit Union and helping out overall with where you need to be with financial literacy and making sure your kids are good to go, which means the kids are out and about. They're hanging out with friends right now for the rest of the summer, but even getting up to the school part, right? And you want to make sure that even though they picked up that summer job, you want them to have their money going into the start of the school year. It's a perfect time to set up with something that teaches real world money skills and gives them a little freedom. That's the Greenlight debit card and money app. If you're a TrueMark Financial member, you can get a free Greenlight account for your kids or teens. It's a simple way for them to manage their own money, whether it's from their job allowance or even that birthday cash that they got over the summer. They'll get their own debit card, can get their savings goals, track their spending, and learn how to budget, all while you, as the parent or guardian, stay looped in from your phone. You're still in control, but they get to learn how money really works in everyday life. So before the summer rush is almost over and it's still in play, this is a great way to help your kids build smart money habits that'll stick with them long after the season's over. Head over to TrueMark.com/greenlight, get all the details, and sign up today. Don't miss the chance to set your kids up for financial success. All right, so I walked into my garage yesterday and it felt like a sauna.
I got to tell you, Devon, this Philadelphia heat, especially coming off a cool period, no joke.
All right, so here's what I did. I got like 10 bags of ice and I made myself an ice bath to stay cool instead of turning on the AC.
But why wouldn't you just turn on your air conditioning?
Well, I was trying to be energy efficient. Go green, go birds, right? And a little power dribble. Make sure I stay away from it.
Yeah, but, instead of icing yourself out, you could just check out Pico's energy saving rebates. They've got deals on Energy Star cooling equipment that actually work and they cut down your bills.
Hold on. So no more ice?
Unless it's an ice cold beer, Devon, we don't need to talk about ice.
That makes a lot of sense.
So everybody just head to pico.com/ways to save. They've got tips for everything. Heating, cooling, lighting, you name it. Don't resort to ice like my friend Devon over here. It felt like a sauna, Devon.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Pico.
Thank you, Pico. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers podcast here where it felt like a sauna whenever we reach out with Pico. It's a hot day today, too.
No, Pico makes sure we don't have it feeling like a sauna in here.
100%. And today is one of the hotter days of the summer that everybody's talking about.
I got my car today, and it was brutal. Just one of those
felt like a
where you're
sauna.
like, got to roll the windows down.
Absolutely. So go ahead. Make sure you stay cool out there and check out Pico.
Stay
sure
hydrated.
Stay hydrated as well. Before we get back to the mailbag questions, do want to tell everybody that we do have tomorrow. Tomorrow. It snuck up on us, Kyle.
Really?
The film session.
When you're not in the office for a week, yeah, everything sneaks up on you.
We have our film session in the office tomorrow, live from the PHLY studio. The PHLY Sixers film session is tomorrow from 6 to 8, and we have a few spots left, everybody. We appreciate the interaction, the interest level in this because it's almost sold out. We have a few spots left, so if you want to hang out with us, you didn't get a chance, you felt like you might have been a little bit too late, well, you're not because there are a few spots left, but there are only a few limited spots available. So go ahead. Must be a diehard member. Diehard event only. Tomorrow from 6 to 8, our PHLY Sixers podcast film session. Sign up if you haven't already to join us for our film session tomorrow right here in the studios, in the office from 6 to 8. And that's going to be a good time as we break down some film of the Sixers and see what things could look like maybe next season as they get things underway. And with that, make sure you go take advantage of our training camp offer that is going on for our intro. Right, Bree? Still going on? $36 for the limited time $36 training camp special. I hope it is as I'm pushing it at that number. So go sign up, and then you can join us as a diehard member at allphly.com. So don't miss out. Sign up right now.
Some takes that are hot like a sauna in the Discord. You guys can get involved and chat it up with us each and every day. It's like having a little more reserved version of YouTube chat, we'll say, that we're in there quite often.
All right, let's get to the next question here on this Mailbag Monday, folks. Look at Vinny, our GM.
Hello, Vince.
What is the ceiling of what you expect from Trendon Watford?
So rarely do I get to say this to Vince, but good question from Vince because it's not, why would you trade everyone or why would you do this silly thing? I think where I'm at with Watford is if he was around Yabu's level as a player, just in a different package, like different set of skills, I think that's about where I'm at with him. I think his value will be more secondary creation, putting the ball on the deck, passing ability, little bit of self-creation, scoring for himself, and then lower expectations as a shooter. Number one, because what we've seen from him is that he's still pretty reluctant as an outside shooter. He is not the most natural shooter in the world. Now he has become a better one. He's become more willing as a shooter. His percentages have trended upward. But I think it's mostly like, hey, this guy can do a little creation for you. And then you move McCain off the ball. You move Maxey off the ball. You tap into the outside shooting. He's not a prolific rebounder. He'll chip in that department, so I wouldn't expect a ton from him there. Defensively, he has a little bit of versatility, probably like some 3-4 bigger threes and standard fours. I think that's probably what you would expect him to handle on the defensive end. He is, again, as a younger developing player, he's getting better there. His reads are sharper. His commitment there has gotten better. But I think a Yabu-esque, Yabu-adjacent player is probably at the high end for what you can expect from him.
Yeah, I'm very curious because seeing a lot of him in Brooklyn for the year and a half that watched them there in Brooklyn and what that looked like, more high stakes here of what his play is gonna be. While they were the playoff team the 1 year when Kale was there, the next year they missed out. He's coming in here and they're looking at him for a real role on this basketball team, and with the absence of a power forward, and one in which, if you look at what Tyrese Maxey said on our YouTube page when those two had that joint media availability in Las Vegas at Summer League, Maxey talked about him as someone that they did not have on the roster a year ago. And while I push back on it a little bit because Paul George is that version, it's just an all-star, supersized version of that type of player. Watford is different in that way where for that second unit, that's important. But there will be nights where he might have to scale up a bit just because of the fact that George might be out and Embiid might be out. And maybe Oubre is playing a different role and he has to be in that Oubre type of role playing maybe 20 minutes. And with that, what does that look like? Is it the assist numbers being high? Is he scoring where he's taking advantage of some smaller defenders on him because of what he's able to do, or because he has that quick first step and is able to get by some of those slow-footed defenders out on the perimeter? And that stat line at the end of the day looks like a 9, 8, and 7 type of thing where you look back and we're doing a post-game show. It was like, damn, Trendon Watford had
his all over the box score.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where the Yabusele piece comes in, because we don't look to either one of them as being that knockdown three-point shooter. But when they are making them and they're making them at +1 a night, then that's really impacting what's going on with their game that night. So I am very, very intrigued of how he fits, how Nurse sees him mixing in with a bunch of different lineups, because I think with his style of play, the different lineups that he can be out there on the floor is what's also a benefit for them if he's playing at that highest level of what you believe he can be. He's, at the end of the day, he is a minimum level guy, but he can certainly be a difference maker with the type of stuff that he does. I think he will have some issues defensively sometimes. I do think that his shooting will, people be like, damn, he's taking 4 threes and they're not even close on those, but then he's going to have that night where he's 3 for 5. And so I think that there's a lot to look at with the different types of versions of a lineup that could be out there with Trendon Watford as a key piece to that.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think in a realistic scenario, he's a back of the rotation guy who, while he does some interesting things, maybe he doesn't do the things they need out of that position specifically. I do think their specific needs in terms of the size and rebounding, Walker does just a lot better and more consistently. But he's also a fairly low volume shooter who really is only starting to break through there as well. So
is he a back end of a 10-man rotation? Or
Wofford?
Yeah. Or do you see
so
him
that's
maybe
the weird thing, right? I think in a normal, if you were a team that had real aspirations, I would say yes, normally. But because there's such a void there, I think he's going to get like real, not top of the rotation minutes, but I think he's got a shot to play like 7th, 8th man minutes early in the year. And then we'll see how things sort out from there.
Yep, absolutely. All right, good question though, Vinny. Appreciate it on Trendon Watford. Let's get to the next one before we get to another break. And this question appears courtesy of Jeff, Syracuse Jeff 44. Is that like a Derek Coleman reference there, Jeff? All right, appreciate it.
Maybe he just is a Syracuse alumni.
There you go. Any chance of a Grimes for Kuminga favorite question for Kyle. Dual sign and trade, neither happy with the current situation, so maybe a change of scenery for both might make sense. And
you could just stop right there, Devon. Bree. You can hit the Photoshop. Say the line, Bart. The Sixers cannot legally sign and trade for Kuminga or anyone else.
But they can sign and trade.
They can send Quentin Grimes,
but they can't
for nothing.
Sign and trade.
You could
yes.
sign and trade Grimes somewhere else for picks. We have done a mailbag question on this every week for basically a month. They can't do it. It's not possible. The short version is, if you sign and trade, you're capped at the first apron, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they are already over that apron. So it is impossible. It cannot happen. That's it.
There you go. Next question.
So I'll do it again. I'll say it again. I don't really like Jonathan Kuminga as a player. I don't like that type of player coming to this situation either. I think he's someone that if he's going to leave the Warriors, he wants to go to it's not that different from the Ace Bailey mentality, right?
Yep.
Where he's like, I want to go somewhere where I have a nailed on spot and a bigger opportunity. He feels like he wants to grow and have that shot. And like, that's great. I don't think he's getting that opportunity here, and you'll run into the same issues that he has run into playing for the Warriors.
Yep. All right, cool. Let's get another one in there, Bree, since that one was easy to answer. Hedfa in the chat and with a super chat, we thank you. When do you think is the proper time to pull the trigger and flip the Clippers' assets before they become overripe?
I have been more on this corner of wanting to move it sooner than later. Than I think Derek feels the strongest about pushing it off into the future and just saying, hey, it's a lottery ticket. And with the way the lottery also operates now, if things implode for the Clippers, that, hey, maybe they just do go through a retooling, rebuilding period in a few years. But it just seems like Steve Ballmer will spend as much money as is humanly possible to put at least a competent product on the floor.
Yeah.
So I don't view that Clippers pick as being tremendously valuable. It's more of a lotto ticket. So if you could move it sooner than later for a starting caliber player who is not also an old man, like someone in that 27, 28-ish, or even younger, if you get a younger starter and it's part of a bigger package, I'm willing to move that now. It just depends on the guy.
Got it, man. I'm right there with you. All right, let's take our final break. Come back, we'll get to more questions as we hang out with you on the Mailbag Monday, presented by our good people from, I'll tell you on the other side.
Sirens going up, Devon. I hope someone didn't suffer an injury that they need worked on.
If they did, which I hope they don't, I got the number for them. It's Rothman Orthopedics, everybody. Our presenting sponsor all summer here on the PHLY Sixers podcast and a part of our show year-round, and we appreciate them for that. If you are looking to just, go get checked out, maybe it's not a major injury, but more minor, but you need to get checked out because, hey, you were running along Kelly Drive, you tweaked an ankle, a little crack in the sidewalk, and maybe you just twisted an ankle a little bit. You're a little worried. You don't want that to get in the way for the rest of the summer. You go to Rothman. You're out there playing with the kids. You go to Rothman. Maybe your summer softball league, a little knee thing or the shoulder because you've been playing so well and maybe you advance to the championship. You go to Rothman Orthopedics because that's where they come in to make sure that they get you right back on track. They're a team of experts. They're here to help with evidence-based care and commitment to restoring your mobility. They'll get you back out there stronger than ever. And if you're looking for a location, well, got plenty of those, proudly serving dozens of the communities across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Florida with 30-plus convenient offices, urgent cares, and walk-in centers. And while I could have checked in Florida the summer that I tore my Achilles, I was lucky enough to get checked out before my Florida trip, so I didn't have to go see the people in Florida to make sure that I was good to fly. I did so at the new location, the Navy Yard, right before they opened up. They said, you know what? When you come back, go to the Navy Yard. We got you covered there so we can get you in and out. See, that's when you have those little perks of Rothman. You can get in quickly. So the other two locations in Philly, Center City and Northeast, As I mentioned, the Navy Yard, if you need to go, those are the spots for you. Don't let pain put your summer on pause. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to book your appointment today and get back to doing what you love and doing so pain-free. Rothman Orthopedics, getting you back to your summer. That's their mission.
Guys, everyone wants home field, home floor advantage. We've been at our literal homes instead of the home studio for the last week or so.
My bad.
But if you want it, if you need it, Empire Today can help you get that home floor advantage because they have flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. You go to a big box store to try to solve your problems. All of a sudden, you're hauling materials home yourself. You got to have a big old truck to make sure it gets home. Then you got to find an installer. Then you got to coordinate it. How does this work on timing? I have to think about 15 different things. And oh, by the way, you still haven't seen that material for your floor in your house until you get it home. And you might get there and all of a sudden, it ain't working, Nirvana. It doesn't match my sofa. It doesn't match my kitchen decor, whatever it might be. Empire Today makes sure all those problems are not problems because the showroom comes right to your home. You pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. You see how it looks with your furniture in your house. You get precise measurements taken. All your questions are answered right there. No surprises. And you get clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. Nobody likes to wait when they have a job they want done. So all of our listeners can schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code PHLY. You heard right, a $350 discount with the code PHLY. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHLY for full details.
Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers podcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics. Let's get to the next question here, Bree, on a Mailbag Monday. Chuck, 0 games played by Embiid, 60 by Paul George. Everyone else is healthy. What is their record next year?
So everyone healthy, and you get 60 games for Paul George.
This is a Maxey George-led team.
Mid to high 30s wins?
I would say high 30s. I would say mid to high 30s, yeah. Because
somewhere in like 35 to 38 wins?
Yeah, I want to lean more 40, but I don't know because
I want to see Paul George with a 60-plus game
Just because
season.
You get 60 out of George, what does that 60 look like? Because we saw 41. And
60 doesn't mean good.
Exactly.
It just means you played.
It just means he was out there and he was available. So I would agree. Mid to high 30s for them. And if he is Paul George, where you're like, all right, that's the guy you signed.
Final year in LA,
that's
Paul
like
George.
40.
Then you're getting into like 500 or better.
Yeah. But
not that much better. 41 to 44, if you want to get real crazy. But yeah, I think because they're relying on a lot of young guys. Jared McCain might be very good production-wise.
But he's still in year two.
And really like first full year one. VJ will be a rookie. Justin Edwards, year 2. You don't want to play a lot of the older guys, right? Like Gordon, Lau. So you're just like, you cast them aside. There are not a lot of guys who are like, man, this guy joined the roster, and all of a sudden they're going to turn into a huge playoff team. But the health for PG would help.
That would also mean a lot of Kelly Oubre in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like third scoring role, depending on McCain and Edgecombe and where they are, Grimes, depending on what he looks like. That's another level up for Kelly Oubre, and is that winning basketball in this spot too. So that's where if we don't know 60, that's the 35, maybe 38, somewhere in that range. But if you get a good 60 from George, and plus those other guys give you some decent production throughout the year, you're probably talking about somewhere at 41, 42.
A lot of variables, right? How good is VJ right away? How good is McCain? Can Maxey, frankly, just shoot the ball better than he did last year, right? That was a big problem for him for essentially like the first 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that.
0 games from Embiid, though, that's a disaster.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
mean,
a disaster.
the one thing I
We're
can tell
already
you with certainty,
shifting. We're shifting
if Joel's
at that
out
point.
for the year,
That's Tyrese's
we're not
team.
talking about the finals. We're not talking
No.
about like, oh, look at this playoff run they might go on. It's all about how do the guards look together.
Yep.
That's when you get real crazy and say, assuming Grimes is back, we're playing 4 guards.
Let's
I
do
don't
it.
care.
Let's do it.
Put them all out there.
Let's do it. Now, they're going to try to go out there and win games because Tyrese
Yeah.
Maxey is competitive, and the same thing for the others. But, man, that's a totally different basketball season for us, all of us, as we evaluate the Sixers at that point 0.
And look, Devon, in that scenario where Joel's just out and you miss 22 games for PG, that means you have 22 games minimum where it's, I don't know, you might have 9 guys you want to play, maybe, right? That's really tough.
But let me ask you
You
this,
don't want to
though.
play Drummond. You don't want to play Gordon. You don't
don't.
want to play Lowry. That's already 3
So
right
what,
off the rip.
what does it look like, though, in this East as we talk about with them being the East being a little bit down because of the Tatum injury, Lillard out, Halliburton, this is a wash for them a bit. No championship contending seasons for Boston and Indiana. Does that change at all? Are they 8, maybe 9 because of the play-in and
It's
all?
possible, but yeah, I'm not expecting a lot of wins.
No, not a lot of wins. Not a lot of wins. Next question,
Joel,
Greg.
please get that knee
Yes.
right, buddy.
We don't need that 0 Embiid or 19.
We'll still have fun. Like, look, we've talked about it. We'll enjoy the developmental stuff and all that. But if you want to talk about actual end of the road playoff hopes,
That's tough.
you need the big guy.
That is tough. Thank you for the question, though. Golden Pine, re-upping my late one from last week. Best 4 players on the current roster, including Grimes, to put around Maxey when Embiid and George are out. So Grimes and Maxey basically are 2 in this scenario. No Embiid, no George. Who are the other 2 guys?
If you assume VJ is as advertised, he's definitely in the group.
Can we add Bona or Drummond at the 5, though? Because that's tough. You need somebody to kind of balance out.
Well, yeah. So are we talking about we're going to build an actual lineup or just these guys fit best with
I just want to
Maxey?
expand it a little bit because the fit means something also. I guess assuming it's going to be Drummond or Bona at the 5. Not Broom, right?
Sure hope it's Bona.
All right. So let's just say, all right, so Bona is that. So who are the other 2 with Maxey and Grimes?
I would play VJ, honestly.
I would too.
Look,
I hate to push McCain aside on that one because.
but that's the whole thing, right? We're not asking best players because McCain is definitely on that list.
Yes.
It's who is fitting best with Maxey to put around Maxey. Now, in a different way, right? It's okay. Maxey needs to hit the bench, right? He can't play 38 to 40 minutes a game. Shouldn't play that much anyway. We'll see if that ends up happening. McCain is ultra important in that sense, right? Because you take Maxey out and he can do enough of he replicates a lot of the shooting and the off-ball ability. We saw last year he did a little bit of the point guard stuff. We trust the playmaking, the ability to set up others. So he's part of the equation for how it all works as a team. But it's the question is, we'd have to clarify.
It's the
with Golden
same
Pine.
reason why we were more against the McCain draft in the first place because of the pairing with and putting the best possible lineups out there, having 2 small guards. So all right, so Bona at the 5 for me adding that. Maxey and Grimes are your 2. I'm with you. I go VJ Edgecombe. The last one is going to come down for me. Oubre or Watford at that point. And I probably lean Oubre because I feel like I know at least what it looks like.
There is more of the known quantity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I lean Oubre for that one just because I know what it looks like. There's a lot of good, and then there are going to be a lot of head scratches there, but I've seen it, especially without Embiid and George on the floor. I've seen Kelly Oubre play well with Tyrese Maxey, and it still looked decent enough. It just wasn't his fault per se that they lost those games, whether it was him and Grimes out there together or him and Maxey out there.
That's a small team, man.
That is a small team, but I mean, are you going Watford with the unknown of playing him for 30 minutes and we just don't know what that looks
I have
like?
to see it with Watford first. I think
Yeah.
it could eventually be him, but even with Oubre's issues, he is definitively a guy who can be like a fifth starter / six man caliber of player. I don't know that on a team that actually competes.
So Hedfa says Watford with
Hedfa's very in on Watford,
yeah.
So that doesn't
Yam
surprise
says,
me.
Jabari Walker, what do you think about that?
Again, like good back end of the rotation player. I think projecting any further than that,
yeah, attributes and measurements.
Like I like him.
You lean there.
Thought he was great
But-
as a two-way signing because I think he's really a minimum guy, at least in terms of talent level. But
Kelly, you got the call, man. You're up.
yeah, you don't have to be a Kelly Oubre super fan to be like, yeah, this guy has just proven a lot more than these other guys. So that's the default. But still, the skill set fit is because Kelly's thing is the shot creation, and the cutting is certainly another one. But with all these guards, I don't need or really want him creating as much.
Yes. Yep.
Which also eats into my Watford belief too, right? Because his thing is shot creation at size. When I have Grimes and Maxey and Edgecombe and McCain, I don't really want you having the ball that much, brother.
Yeah, so that's where you lean that for. Maybe Walker is just that, hey, 25 minutes,
Who
come
knows?
in there and do
But
your
I do
thing.
think that's probably why you just say McCain, because even
Yeah.
if it's not starting him, it's giving him the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Hedfa also continuing with Watford will be starting by the time we get to December.
We shall see.
What does that team look like? We'll find out. All right, Bree, let's get another one in here before we close things out. Dirt the sequel. I got questions about sequels too that maybe we'll incorporate into another show. But my question is this: what's more painful for you to experience, the Philadelphia winter or the summer? That's easy for me. Winter. I don't like the cold.
I don't like the cold. Devon and I are aligned on that. If the Sixers if I could take everything that exists about Philadelphia and have it in like a California climate, SoCal climate, done deal.
Yep.
Right? Like I would just love a also more moderate summer too. But yeah, I can't stand the cold.
You can control the heat and with the climate, with the Pico, right? Turn the air on, all that stuff. I can adjust to that way much easier than I can. And plus, if I want to go outside, I can go outside in the summer and still enjoy myself. Where in the winter, man, it's like, get me
we
to
don't have
my
any hot
destination.
springs. Like you have pools, right? Like, oh, it's hot. I'm gonna go jump in a pool.
Yeah,
it's cold. I'm keeping my butt inside.
Get me to my destination in the summer. I mean, in the winter, and I'm going in. So there's that. But thank you for the question. And we know Bree agrees with us because she's right there with the. It's too damn cold.
Yeah, I hate the winter, but I think the summer is more painful to deal with.
Really?
Wow.
I didn't expect that because I know how much you dislike the winter.
I hate the cold, but honestly, like summer, I need like a beach or a pool in my backyard, and it's just so far. So yeah, more painful summer.
Hedfa is right though. If we had a SoCal climate, Philadelphia would not be Philadelphia. Part of the reason why people in the Northeast are the way they are, I include myself in this, is because in the wintertime, nobody wants to go outside.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm watching the Sixers. I'm watching the Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Flyers, right?
And that's why
it's why
say,
Boston is so similar to Philadelphia
move?
in a lot of ways.
I don't want to move.
It's cold as hell in the winter.
Yeah.
So you're dialed in on that. You're not, hey, I'm going to go hike and climb a mountain and go see the Hollywood sign or whatever.
Yeah. No, I hate the cold. So there's my answer. All right. Maybe we can talk about the Paul George, VJ Edgecombe conversation tomorrow a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's
because there's some stuff there that we have some thoughts about. So let's get to a couple of news and notes.
We don't have any. Do we have any quick mailbag?
Quick ones, Bree?
Oh wait, we have one, Bree, about a wing thing. Adam, the Sauce 54 asks, tomorrow is my wife's birthday, but it's also National Wing Day.
I love it.
And this speaks to Devon. Devon, whenever we get pizza, it's always like, we got to get chicken wings too.
Man.
So Adam says, what do I do?
All right. So here's what you do, Adam. I'm assuming that you guys are very, very close. And first of all, it's not your birthday, so this is tough. Otherwise, your wife will set you up to make sure that you have the wings for your birthday. But I think you hold off and maybe depending on how you guys go out and celebrate, maybe she likes, I don't know, maybe she likes seafood, maybe she likes steak or chicken, whatever it is, and she likes to go. You want to make sure you do for her, but it's not the wings and chicken, it's the nice restaurant, and you get that chicken. You do what you have to do for your wife's birthday, but then when you get to Wednesday, man.
Wing Wednesday.
It's Wing Wednesday, man. The prices may be different. You may not get the deals, but it's Wing Wednesday. You just push it a day out. And I think that's what you do.
Here's what I would say.
My opinion.
Happy wife, happy life. If you really want wings that badly, go at lunchtime, my friend. Like, there is nothing stopping you from. Now, actually, that there also we have to figure out, is Adam young? Well, he's married, so I assume he's a certain age. Are you an in-office person? Are you a work from home?
Sure.
Because if you're working from home,
are you off? Are you both off?
Maybe
tomorrow?
You're both off. Like, you're going to spend the day. Then it becomes a little trickier to take advantage of the wing coupons and discounts and whatnot. But if you're in the office, hey, I'll head to. I won't name any companies because cut the check if you want a
we
wing
like wings, so
endorsement.
cut that check.
We do like chicken wings. You can always have wings for lunch at your office. Get that in, and then whatever your wife wants to do, if it's a nice dinner,
yes,
maybe it's just take a nice walk down by the Schuylkill on the waterfront. Maybe you have a dog, take your dog out. Like, whatever she wants to do, you should do. It should not be National Wing Day, which is a made-up thing in the first place.
Over my wife's
does
birthday.
not take precedent over a significant other's birthday. And if you make that mistake, feel free to come in the chat and tell us about your experience. I promise you,
made up holiday.
You won't regret waiting one day for chicken wings to stop a meltdown from happening. I'm not even saying it wouldn't be unreasonable for your wife to be like, chicken wings, be like Jimmy Butler, chicken wings over me? Like, do not do that, my friend.
And she might be that wife where she's just super cool and says, you know
Maybe
what?
she is.
Let's get wings.
Ask her what she wants to do. If
right.
she's like, well, I heard it's National Wing Day, perfect. You killed two birds with one stone.
I'm mad that I didn't look this up because it just came to me to ask you, Bree, and everybody. What's the worst?
Eugene said, y'all are weak men. No, I have self-preservation skills.
That's right.
Big difference.
What's the worst made up National Day? Because there are a ton of them.
There's one I can't even repeat on the show.
Okay.
That's a ridiculous one.
Because these are just, wait a minute. And look, I love it because this is my aunt, and I love my aunt, and this is always cool because, of course, my aunt, growing up, my aunt would always make sure I had the sweets. She still makes the cupcakes at home, and she'll send them to me, right? Stuff like that. Or she'll, I don't know, whatever it is. She'll hit me up and be like, it's National Cheeseburger Day. You know what I mean? But that's my relationship
There's a day
with my
for
aunt.
everything now.
Yeah, so that stuff
so
is
many
cool
fake
to me.
holidays.
Right. Yeah, so I'm kidding. Like National Pizza Day. We love pizza, but who said this was a national day?
Yeah, who was on the council of holidays
Right.
that sat there and said,
Aaron says all
July
of
29th
yes.
is when we will officially celebrate chicken wings.
Yes, so I'm just curious. I just threw that out there for everybody. What's Bree, do you have one? The most made up one that you're
I
like,
can't even think. They're all bad. They're all bad.
They are all bad.
Yeah.
But it gives us all a reason to take
I
advantage.
will not say the name of the one. I will talk to you about it after the show.
We can do
The
that.
one
We
You can say it in
that-
overtime.
No, I'm not going. I will not say the first string of words on the show. That's how ridiculous it is.
All right, we do have to hit a little overtime, everybody, to start the week off. Head over to allphly.com. We thank you on the television side, on the Fast Channel for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. If you want to continue the show and get to the news and notes, for one of these news, we are going to need non-TV. We're just going to bring it to allphly.com. Thank you so much.
I'm a little worried about that.
For hanging out with us on the PHLY Sixers podcast. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. on all platforms. We thank you. All right. First news and notes, Bree. You don't have to show this one because this one just happened. Sixers legend Colin Castleton is waived by the Raptors. All right. Got that one out the way. So the Raptors waived Colin Castleton. He had like 2 really good games. damn, this dude collects all these rebounds. How does
Hey.
he have 5 offensive rebounds here? That was fun. Thank you, Colin Castleton. Good luck to you. All right, first one, Bree. Let's go to the LaMelo Ball one for the news and notes.
Wasn't this a photo? This is fake, I think, right? I don't think this
But
is
we
actually
have to
real.
bring it up because somebody did say, Bree, this is ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure it's fake.
Yeah. This is bad, though. So it needed to be
I think
discussed.
the bad part is that
It needed to be
LaMelo
discussed.
is so much of a character that people believe this could be true. I don't think it's real, though.
Right. So,
LaMelo Ball with the hot Cheeto tattoo toes circulated over the weekend and people were reacting to it. I don't think it's real. I think it's bad that people
but
think
if
it could
anybody
be real.
would do it, it's that guy. That guy would do it. Bree, what do you think?
I could just see it being real because it's just so ridiculous. But
Because he would do
I don't
it.
know. I'll have to do research.
I don't think it's real.
Yeah. he
Probably
would
not,
do it.
but-
I hope it's not real because, boy,
I hope
That's
it's
bad.
real.
I've seen some awful tattoos. I am not a tattoo guy myself. At least for me, I'm not saying that I don't like how it looks for people.
Yeah, you just
There are some
for
people
yourself.
who pull it off and it's a whole look. Like
Yeah.
for me, I am not a tattoo guy. Even if I was a tattoo guy, I would hope that we can all agree. Even though it's fake. Holy cow.
It's still, even with the fake part of it, man, it got everybody talking. Why? Because that guy is the one that you would look and say, yeah, he would do it. Gene says, he got hot Cheeto toes? Nah, man, don't do that. So, all right, there's that. That's one. Appreciate it. Are you a hot Cheeto guy?
Yeah, I like spicy.
I'm a spicy
anything.
guy, but that I do not like hot Cheetos. I just don't. And my nephews, my daughters, all of course in that age range of the young group, and they're hot Cheetos. This my niece had some Funyuns, the hot Funyuns.
I'm
like,
out on Funyuns as a general
oh no, I
concept.
love Funyuns.
No,
Those are my
kids,
favorite.
We
So we got to do a
this is real
we gotta do a
deep.
snack show one day where we got to rank some of the snacks, but.
This is real deep Kyle Newbeck college lore. In my freshman year dorm, a guy who I'm actually pretty good friends with and was very good friends with in college, he was in a pretty dark period of his life when we were freshmen, and he just ate a ton of Funyuns. And I just like associate it's his fault, but it's not his fault. So I just associate Funyuns with like depression, which is like no fault of Funyuns, but it's just like in my mind, like the saddest person in the world, just sitting in their dorm room, just binge eating Funyuns.
Are you an onion
And
rings person?
I love onion
Like the
rings.
Wise onion
Yeah.
onion rings, the green bag, all that? Okay.
Oh no! I'll eat like hot onion
No,
rings.
I meant the bag onion rings
No.
from. Okay,
No.
I got you. All right. I love
artificial
Funyuns.
onion. I'm good on.
I love
That's-
Funyuns. I do like, and I'm probably because of the way I eat. You guys know how I eat. I do like the hot onion rings.
I'll do the sour cream and onion ruffles.
Yeah.
You know those?
Yeah, I
I
do
like those.
Okay.
Or not sour cream. Is it sour
Is
cream
salt and
onion?
vinegar? Like, would you do the salt and vinegar? Hers?
No, I'm thinking of what is it? It's cheddar and sour cream, so it's not even onion.
Cheddar and sour cream, the Ruffles.
The Ruffles.
Okay. All right.
Those were big in my household growing up. I feel like my dad loves those.
Okay. All right. Well, we
But
have
no
that's a-
onion.
no nothing like that.
I'm trying
All
to
right.
think if there's. I do like sour cream and onion chips. though,
Okay.
The wavy ones.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
Lay's?
That's Lay's.
Not Lay's.
That's Lay's.
Is it?
Yeah, because even wavy is Lay's. Yeah. We'll do a show on this because we are all snack people in this office.
No, it's hers. The hers sour
Oh,
cream
the
and onions are the
Hers.
ones I like.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Hers
Fair
has
enough.
the.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right.
but most of the time I'm not any like artificial when it's super oniony. Then you're just walking around and you're like that's part
But
of
you
it,
know,
right?
I
It's
keep
like
mincing
my
with
depressed
me,
friend
so I
who
don't-
then
yeah.
is like eating all these Funyuns and
And
it's
his
just like
breath
smells
stinks.
smells like sadness and onion and it's like what are we doing here, man?
Oh, man.
Funyuns, if you want to change my mind somehow, feel free to try to, but that's what I associate it with.
Bring us some Funyuns
Can't do
to the show tomorrow night, everybody. Bring some Funyuns in.
But yeah,
And some
hers
Cheetos.
sour cream and onion. Ooh, I'll
Gotcha.
eat some of those with like a nice Italian hoagie.
Yeah.
Give me that.
All right. All right, appreciate it. We'll do a show on this later on in the summer. That's always a fun topic. All right, let's get to the final news and notes. Bree, cue up the video.
Uh-oh, what is this? I don't think
Dante
I've
Jones, former NBA player, current assistant coach in the league for the Clippers.
Does that say digging into his butt?
Let's play the video, Bree. Look at Dante Jones. Continue to watch Dante Jones.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No!
Continue.
No, Dante, no!
Play
Is
Is that his
getting
own?
worse.
What is he getting into there? I
an
can't.
elevator. He's at an elevator.
So what would possess him? You had to do a pre-elevator sniff? What's going on? For what reason? Why would you ever do it? But like specifically before getting in the elevator, it's not like I'm trying to even concoct a scenario in my mind where that is a thing you would think to do. Why? What? Go just like be a normal person. Pull out your cell phone and like doom scroll on Instagram or something. That's crazy.
So I was like, wait a minute. So you talking
Wasn't
about
there the
fake
clip of Joel did like he does the free throws where he like
digs in his shorts?
now he's over the
It's
shorts.
over
at
the
least.
shorts.
So
It's not actually
that's
in his
not as
shorts.
nasty as what we just
Yes.
saw with.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So look, I know a lot of people on Twitter, they might have seen it, but a lot of people also on their vacations that simply didn't seen it. That was bad, man.
That
That's
is
really
heinous.
bad. And number
Jail
one,
time.
Yeah, jail time. You don't do that. Number
Well,
one.
like time served. I'm not saying he's going to actually spend the day in jail, but like
Yeah.
you have your day in court and the judge says suspended sentence.
You're
for-
fined $2,000, all that stuff. My man, you do this, and now it's out there. You are a current assistant coach in the NBA. How do you even answer to that? Right, Bree? How do you even answer to that in the locker room? You are now,
How did that
no
even,
pun intended, but you are the butt of the jokes now. This is disgusting.
Here's the other how does that video get out, right? So now I'm in the mindset of hotel security. There's a hotel security guy. Is
Yep.
he wearing like team
It looked like he was
apparel?
wearing the Clippers.
Okay, so the the hotel security is watching, sees this happen, and then you're like, who is this guy? And you see, with LA Clippers basketball or whatever on the shirt. And so you're like, oh, this has got to be someone important. So then you're like on their basketball reference or team website, or you're doing like face matching.
Actually, as I look at it again, I
technology.
can't tell if the shirt says Clippers or not.
Come
but
on.
Some basketball fan clearly
The
knew it was
hoops
him.
you're jumping through for this video to circulate to, like, do you try to blackmail him and say,
TMZ, baby.
I'm going to TMZ if you don't give me whatever money so
Right.
people don't call you the butt sniffer
Yeah, right.
for forever.
Yeah. Wow. I'm surprised you didn't see that one. Yeah. I'm surprised.
I do try to spend less time on the internet in the summer.
No, it's not
when-
more of you just being on there as to the more of it was so bad that it was all over.
Would you ever shake his hand again?
No. Because I don't know. I don't know. How many times do we say to each other when we're out?
Devon is also
in
Mr. Clean. I've been in his, I go to see like, hey, Devon, do you have a Band-Aid or something? I'll get it from his hotel room because he's very prepared. I walk in and everything's just like nice and neat and organized. Meanwhile, I'm like schizophrenic in my hotel room.
Right.
Everything is just all over the place.
But how many times do
I'm
you see it?
imagining Devon seeing this and then encountering Dante Jones in public. Sticks his hand out. Devon does the no thanks.
What's up, man? Good to see you. No, man, I mean, because we've seen too many people where you're in the bathroom and they just walk
They're
out.
not washing their hands.
Right, exactly. So when you see something like this, I don't have to guess anymore. You've done it once, and now I don't have to do that. I don't have to go that route.
This will be on the film review tomorrow. If anyone is still thinking about coming, we will go over the tape here. And
Look at the footwork. Look at the left step. And by the way,
elite first sniff.
oh,
Oh
man.
my God. We need to end the show. We're out of here.
All right, man. By the way, with my cleanliness and my habits, My mom is right there in the chat. I take after her in that way. So everybody talk to my mom about that.
So Marcus brought up in the chat, this is one, they got the tablets out. They're doing the film review on the sideline.
Yes.
And another assistant is sitting there with them like, what were you thinking
That's
on this
perfect,
play?
Marcus.
What were you thinking on this one?
All right, let's get to the world famous roll call.
Oh my God.
Turn the lights out for Dante Jones, man.
The lights are down. Lights are way down. Lights are off.
Lights are off, man. Turn it off.
Thank you, everybody, for being here for a ridiculous end to
Dave,
a Monday show. Thank you. Thank you to Marcus Blackstock. Thank you to my girl, Winona, who is absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, she is. Come on,
rightfully so.
Come on. Stop.
Thank you to AA Ron. Thank you to Jess, to Eugene, who is picking chicken wings over a significant other. I respect it, brother, but I just can't get there. I'm sorry. It just
man.
Survival tactics is what we call them in my neck of the woods.
Happy life, man.
Brian Knight, Prophet One,
What up,
Mom's
Prophet?
Grandchildren, Mom, thank you as always. I can't believe you sat through that last 5 to 10 minutes of conversation. Thank you to Greeny Green, to Bootzilla, who's rattling some cages today.
Boots to Dante Jones, man.
Lost Sleep TV, SB Cole. We got Blanche.
Oh,
Blanche is in the building.
legendary
Hedfa,
show, Blanche.
Coleman.
Coleman from Trading Places, my man. Who else?
I
saw
can't
Sal in
believe
there.
that. Sal's here. Will is here.
So,
Garbanzo.
what up,
Jeffrey
Dave?
Stewart. Is that Adam asked the question about who was it that asked the chicken wing
The
question?
chicken wing question.
I want to say it was Adam,
Was that
but I
Adam?
might just be making that up.
All right.
We got Jeff
Thank you,
asked
Adam.
a question.
We
Dirt.
appreciate it.
We had Chuck. Oh, I'm just
All right,
just
chuck
can't
him up,
stop
Chuck.
laughing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sal
Rich
was in
P
there.
was in here.
Phil W, even though you left, thank you. We appreciate
Phil W, very upset.
Very
that we're
upset talking
answering
to
mailbag questions.
Yes.
Old Dirty Yams
Yes.
in the building.
Derek Bodner. Saw
Derek
him in the
Bodner,
chat.
get well to you and your car soon.
Jeez.
Joaquin and Old Dirty Yams
Bye,
again.
Chi.
Bye, Chi. Darkness!
Turn
somewhere.
the lights down, Dante Jones. Get the hell
Turn the
out.
lights off, baby.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, on the way out,
All right.
please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notifications each and every time we go live, and hit the thumbs up button to say welcome back to super producer Bree after a nice Friday off.
Thank you, Bree.
For our president of basketball operations. We will be back tomorrow, Tuesday,
3 p.m.
3 p.m., and then we will have our film session here at the studio.
Yes.
As Devon said, it is almost sold out. So if you're thinking about it, take advantage. Come on by.
Bring me a bag
hang
of
out.
Funyuns. Thank you.
No Funyuns, please. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. We'll see you there.
See ya.
Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.